Alright, here we go, guys. What's up? It's FNews57 here. I am back on Neverwinter on the Xbox One with another video for you. So today we will be going over the new Module 13, the Lost City of Omou update. This is the patch notes video. What's new, what's quote-unquote fixed, what's worth it, what's not worth it, and what we are just literally going to name this update as... It's the facepalm update. So, yeah. Why? Because why in the world Perfect World is actually doing half the shit in this update, I have absolutely no idea. I will leave a link in the description to the forums post where you can read everything, because I am not going to read every single change. I will go over the key points with you and move on from there. So there are a few good things with this update. Most kind of just, as I said before, facepalm things, just utter nonsense, and then a few completely dicked over moments. In a way, you could like the update or hate the update. Complete personal preference. So the biggest thing, obviously, is Mod 13, The Lost City of Omou, which is a expansion to the Jungles of Cholt campaign. Not a new campaign in and of itself, merely just a additional top half to the Jungles of Cholt campaign, without even new boons, just with additional points to be spent in the old boons that were already really nothing to write home about as far as Cholt was concerned. So, like I said, kind of, facepalm moment. Just, yeah, that's the biggest highlight of the update. Now, there's a few other things that I'm going to go through. Obviously, you have the new campaign. We covered that. You have a new dungeon, technically. You can see it right here under the Trials category, and it is not even a dungeon. It is a trial, so it is a 10-player event. Minimum item level required 12k, and, well, it should be a couple weeks before we actually unlock that. You can see it on PC if you want to, but it'll be a couple weeks before console unlocks that. You can also see in the Zen Market, if you go to the Zen Market, that there is a new pack available. It is the primary Pilgrim weapon pack. This is the pack that includes the Cholton Tiger. The Cholton Tiger, well, it's a one-time buy pack. You only get one in the pack, 2,500 Zen. You also get the primary Pilgrim artifact weapon if you want that end, because you love a rank 7 bonding runestone. Like, really? For 2,500 Zen, you think you could do better than a rank 7 bonding runestone. Just facepalm, Cryptic. Thank you again for that. Like, can't even give us a rank 8. I know the other companions come with a rank 7, but 2,500 Zen for it? Come on now, guys. Get real. If you want the Cholton Tiger, you're going to need to buy that pack or buy it off of the Zen Market from somebody who did buy that pack. Personal preference. Obviously, there's going to be some quality of life changes with the update, or so they say. They're minor. This is a bug fix. This is a glorified bug fix update with a general side of WTF. That's what this is. So there's now a protect an item functionality. Why this was not introduced back in Mod 5, I have absolutely no idea, but you can go to an item, say my Trans Dread, alright? And there's an option on it that you can mark as protected. Now this item cannot be sold, discarded, salvaged, dumped into the guild coffer, anything. It can't be broken down or nothing. It just doesn't show up on any of those lists. That's a cool feature. I like that. Good job, Cryptic. Sadly, it took you only, 5 years to figure it out. But that same option applies to just about anything. Not that the item cannot be protected, but instead of an item that cannot be protected not having the option, we now have one more option on there that we have to scroll through when you're trying to do something like discard the item or convert an item to refinement points. Works great for most items, but shouldn't be on the irrelevant, non-valuable items. Just a great idea, but piss-poor execution, and again, facepalm. Thank you, Cryptic. Good job on that one. Not exactly their best moment on that. But it gets better. With everything going on in the game, you guys will notice we have a fashion bag. Really? Really, Perfect World? We have a fashion bag that, guess what? You can buy additional fashion bag slots for. I know, try to contain your elation at fashion bag slots. That is by far the just double facepalm on that one. It is so bad. We did not need that. Like, actually pay attention to what we need in the game, not stupid fashion bags. Come on, Cryptic. There's now new Masterwork level 3 professions, and we'll cover those a little bit later. But there's nothing to write home about in Masterwork 3 either. It's kind of disappointing. You will notice that there is a drastic XP change between leveling from 60 to 70 and over levels after level 70. It now only requires about 100,000 XP to over level after you reach level 70. But the amount of frequency, at least, that you get the 30,000 rough astral diamond reward from your over levels was also reduced. At the end of the day, we should make a little bit more diamonds off of our over levels than we were getting off of our over levels before, but it kind of dicked over anybody who didn't get to open their over level XP rewards before Mod 13 went live. So, hit or miss on that one. I think it was already way too easy to get from level 60 to 70. They should have left that alone, and they should have just reduced the amount of XP needed for over levels. There is a loadouts expansion, another one where, facepalm, Cryptic, why in the world did you actually do loadouts without this in place? Loadouts now track your summoned companions, their equipment, mounts, and insignias. But we can still no longer, or not yet at least, be able to change and have one weapon enchantment for one loadout and another weapon enchantment for another loadout. So loadouts are still half broken. Like, I don't understand why they do that. There's been a bunch of course, the minor graphical updates, changes to content and environment, where you can't get outside of the map in certain places. Don't worry, I'm sure people will come up with other ways to get outside of the map. Cutscenes can now be skipped in certain maps: Death Forge, Lair of Lostmouth, Mollabog's Castle, Phantasmal Fortress, and the Temple of the Spider. About time. I don't know why they just don't make all cutscenes skippable after the first time that you've seen them. Some issues with NPCs properly leashing and everything. A couple of old achievements that were made impossible to get long time ago being removed from the achievement list. A few minor tweaks here to dungeons and trials. Demogorgon now properly grants the correct gold reward when you defeat Garistro immediately. A few little things of that nature. Tiamat, Mod 6, guys. Tiamat no longer, supposedly, can be glitched out by a player attacking the Black Dragon head before it fully spawns. Only took them 6.5 mods to fix that. Also, when you defeat Tiamat, it registers the defeat immediately as soon as you defeat the last dragon head, as opposed to after the defeat animation. Oh, again, only took them 6.5 mods to fix that one. Hunt trophies, another big thing on all the trophy items. You can now have more than one in your inventory. Awesome, right? Right? I thought so. But you can no longer mail these items to yourself. I'm going to try and mail one right here to show you. Nope. This item can't be mailed. It's no longer a unique item. I can trade it with other players. I can't sell it on the auction house. I can put it in my bank, my personal bank, my shared bank. But, facepalm cryptic, I can't mail it. No logical reason why I can't mail it. But I can have multiple copies in my inventory, and they don't stack. It's just like, I don't know what they were doing with this update. There's a few changes to future events. Challenge of the Gods items should correctly bind to account versus character like they're supposed to. A couple changes to Protector's Jubilee, where the extra protection orders can be traded in after the event. A ton of changes to combat and powers. For instance, the Tome of Ascendance is no longer bugged. It correctly rewards the proper damage bonus like it should. The Cholt boons correctly reward item level like they should, as opposed to the Capstone not rewarding item level. There's been a tremendous amount of changes to classes and balancing those, mostly cosmetic and stuff that we wouldn't use. Changes to weapon and armor enchantments. Weapon enchantments don't proc off of dot damage except for the first hit, rendering lightning useless for dot damage classes, unfortunately. It shouldn't have been changed that way, but it is. Maybe they'll change it back. I'm going to keep my lightning enchantment. It's still best in slot for classes that actually get most of their damage off of single hits and not dots. Control Wizard got several updates for powers that we don't use. Spellstorm is still, in my opinion, the way to go, but I'll cover that in my build. Storm Spell did get a change. Storm Spell, as far as the artifact offhand power, now has a separate proccing chance compared to an additional proccing chance. It also, the damage can crit and is affected properly by each power, as opposed to differences between like Focused Wizardry if it procced off of a single target power versus an AoE power. So at the end of the day, as long as you have your 100% critical hit chance, you'll actually do more damage with it than what you did before. Still sucks that we lose the lightning enchantment. Plus there's changes to Ray of Enfeeblement. It's no longer a double cast in your spell mastery, and simply having two wizards running it, it will not act as if it was double cast from one wizard in spell mastery. So a bit of a meh on that one. A few other changes, making sure that Rimfire and Smolder procs correctly. Changes to the DC, a little bit of a few nerfs there to try and eliminate quote-unquote doubling up. But let's be real, facepalm cryptic, there's nothing to do with doubling up there that's going to be changed. People still run double DCs all the time. It's still meta. The only difference is they wanted to reduce our power creep a little bit to make room for new pieces of gear, which I said we'll cover in a little bit. So I'll leave you a link. You can read through everything there that changed. It's only a few % on damaging powers or buff powers like Hollow Ground. The Scourge Warlock got a huge update. Way too many things to list for Temptation, Damnation, and Fury. Companions got a little bit of an update, making sure that they are proccing the way that they should. Enchantments got a wee bit of a update. The Transcendent Lightning enchantment, Lightning Burst effects now can crit. Whoop-de-doo-dah. Literally worthless for control wizards. The Fey Touched enchantment no longer procs multiple times from the same power. Okay, that was a bug. It's neither here nor there. They fixed it. Good to go. The enemies in Cholt, from what I've been in there, seem to have a slightly smaller aggro distance, and the Raptors are changed a little bit for a hit that hits you right away but doesn't automatically knock you down. So that's kind of cool. They added a lot of new mounts in Cholt and a couple for event stuff that we're going to work towards if you care about that. A few changes to our old artifact weapons, but they're basically irrelevant. And then we come to our Masterwork Professions, and Tomb of the Nine Gods. Tomb of the Nine Gods, marginal, as they say, quote-unquote, slightly increased drop rate for ultimate enchantment stones. I've yet to test what that actually translates to, as obviously the mod just went live. But the big thing that I actually wanted to go over was the changes to gear. You can read all the rest of the patch notes if you want. So there's changes to gear. If you go into your collections page, you'll be able to see all the different stuff that you can get. Now, this is where we're going to look at some of the new items. There's a new set from Omou. There's several new weapon sets, new companion, the Cholton Tiger, and lots of little interesting things. You see I'm under the companions category. If you go up to the very top, you can see your artifact equipment, and you're going to look for the very first set. Let me go all the way through this. There's way too much of it. There's like 5 new weapon sets, guys. There's the Tyrant weapons. I don't really like them. The Primal weapons. I don't really like them either. The Pilgrim weapons. I don't really like them either. And the Pioneer weapons. Kind of meh as well. In addition to that, under collections, sorry, hit the wrong button. If you go down to Strongholds, you'll see the Masterwork 3 stuff and the Stronghold set. Now, this will be specific to your class. These are probably going to be your best in slot weapons, depending upon the class. Obviously, they're going to be expensive, and you have to make them through Masterwork, but they are a item level 500 weapon set at Legendary, and they can go up to item level 520 if you go up to Exalted. But let's just compare with the Masterwork 2 weapon set, or Stronghold 2 weapon set, which has the exact same 2-piece set bonus, but let's just compare the stats on them. Marginal. For millions of AD, just to buy the set, you're going to get 193 more damage, 1,072 more power, 244 crit, and 244 recovery. There is literally nothing to write home about these sets. It's just facepalm cryptic. There's nothing there. There's no reason for me to switch from my already min-maxed relic weapon set and original Masterwork 2 / Stronghold 2 set. There's no reason. There's no incentive. Facepalm cryptic. I don't know what they were thinking with that. And the rest of the weapon sets are unimpressive as well. They're good if you don't have a better weapon set, but if you already have min-maxed weapon sets, facepalm cryptic. There's no reason to change. About as useless as that shadow goes. Now let's continue for fun, obviously. Where is it? Collections. If you look at the Masterwork armor set, everything in the Masterwork armor set is useless. There's no reason for it. It's worse stats than Primal or actual hunt gear. There's only 2 things in Masterwork 3 that's decent. The Lichstone ring is crap. The other ring there is crap. It's only the Bronzewood Raid ring, which is a power crit double offensive ring. Probably estimated cost, early to say right now, but around, I would say, 2 million AD, roughly. And then this one, which is crit and armor pen with double offensive slots. That's the only decent piece out of all of the Masterwork 3 armor. Out of the Masterwork 3 neck and belt set, they're kind of meh. You're basically going to be going with the same set, and again, it's the same set bonus as the Masterwork 2 neck and belt set, and if you look at it, it's a marginal increase. 553 power, 347 crit, and 347 recovery for spending millions more AD to get that. I'm not even rocking rank 14s, I'm crit capped and armor pen capped. It's like facepalm cryptic. No reason for it. Same thing goes for the Masterwork 3 belt. If Basically, you want to spend a few extra million AD to be absolutely best in slot for a few extra stats? Sure, go for it if you want, but the rest of it's junk. There is only one thing in here that I'm even remotely kind of sort of interested in as far as gear goes, and that's over here in the Hunts of Omou, which is basically junk. This chestplate, your melee powers do 3% more damage. Could be good. Gonna try and get that for my paladin. The mane of the Manticore could be okay. Interestingly, though, kind of odd. But as far as the control wizard goes, all of the gear on here is junk, with the exception of the Jaw Ripper's gloves, which I'm going to test out and see, and possibly the Earth Treaders. I don't know if these will be better than Boots of the Alpha, but we're going to try it. The rest of these rings, all of these hunt rings from Omou, are crap. I do not see a use for any of these rings, even if you got the +5. The only things, the only two pieces that I actually want out of this update is the Empowered Chain of Scales, which is going to be a new potion tray item. Marginally better than a pocket pet, but I want it because it's marginally better. And this one particular ring, the Ring of the Shadow Stalker +5, that is going to be a ring that every class wants to use. 543 power, 814 armor pen, double offensive slots. With an equip bonus, your powers deal 2.5% more damage when you are within 25 feet or closer to your target. The good news is, even if you can't get the +5 variant, the +4 variant is still viable with double offensive slots, just slightly less stats. But other than that ring and the Empowered Chain of Scales, there's really not much gear-wise that I'm actually super excited about when it comes to this update. So that's why I say it's mostly a bug fix and kind of a facepalm cryptic. Like, it's just meh. But it gets better. You know the lovely envenomed cash that we were getting from Tomb of the Nine Gods? Now this is where you may wish to keep your young ones away, and if you are faint of heart, you might want to skip this. All the ones that we had in our inventories, all the ones in the game have now been changed. They are either, if you're in an inventory, any inventory, they're bound to that character, regardless of the character that actually acquired them from Tomb of the Nine Gods, or Tong. If they are in the auction house, when you buy it and you claim it, it binds to that character. They bind to the character on pickup. Now, Perfect World, I hope they are actually listening. You guys said that it was too much work, too much coding, too many problems to change our Astorian rings. To change them, let me go to my companion and show you, because I farmed my ass off for these rings. It was too much work to change our Astorian rings, our greater Astorian rings, from bound to character to bound to account. It was too much work to do that. But you can change our envenomed cash from unbound to bound to character for the ones that already exist in the game. Not new ones. I'm not talking about new ones. I'm talking about ones that already exist in the game. Let me show you. Let's look at the item. Binds on pickup character. The moment I take that item out of the mailbox, it's going to become bound to that character. Same thing for if I buy an envenomed cash off of the auction house. By that principle alone, Perfect World, if they're going to keep all of these envenomed caches bound the way that they did now, they need to do one of two things. Either A, unbind all the ones that existed in-game previous to Mod 13, or give us all of our Astorian rings that existed in the game prior to Mod 12B bound to account. Because obviously they just set a precedent that it can be done. It's not too much coding. I'm very pissed off with Cryptic at that. Very pissed off. And I've been a big supporter of them. The last thing that bugs the hell out of me, and there literally is not enough ghoulish concoction in the world, there's no new achievements. Nothing. No new ones. These are just the old ones that I have yet to do because they were stupid and annoying. You expect me to play an update that really doesn't have an incentive for me to play it with, honestly, meh gear, meh boon rewards. I'm just going to go back to farming salvage. Perfect World, this update, not your best. Definitely not your best. With that being said, hopefully everybody enjoyed the video. Like I said it would be at the very beginning, it is a facepalm cryptic update, module, mod, whatever you want to call it. But if you have any questions or concerns or whatever, feel free to post a comment on the video. I'll do my best to sort them out for you. If you did enjoy the video, make sure you leave a like on it and definitely subscribe for more content. Until next time, stay frosty.